example. Well, maybe all plants are green, but some plants are not green. They're red or maybe blue.
Yeah.
That's the stereotype, I think.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. Vlad, are you on?
Yes.
You have your son on? Vlad, what is your what is a stereotypical view of a professor?
Of a professor?
Yeah, of a professor.
In general.
In general, a stereotype of a professor.
Maybe professor always wear glasses.
Oh, the glasses, okay.
What else? You know, I haven't a lot of stereotypes here about professors because, for example, in our academy, all professors different people, and it's not my topic.
Okay. Andrei, what do you think? How about a stereotype of a professor?
Professor. Well, like he always
Talking about something.
How about a stereotype of a Anton? How about a stereotype of a student?
Yes, there are different students. Some believe that students are irresponsible, or they may be worse a lot of hard-working guys. Some of them like parties, and some of them are nerds. I don't know. Different people.
Very good. Okay, so I think that we all have an idea of what we're talking about.
In Russia, we have a good proverb about students, which contain some stereotypes about students. I think Anton and Andrei know this proverb.
Well, I don't. So tell me about it.
It's the man who how to say. I'll try to put it in the chat.
Vlad, why don't you put it in the chat in Russian and let us all work on it as a translation?
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay, let's see. What do you have?
I know about the army touching Russian.
Yeah.
Sounds like кто в армии служил, тот не смеется. I'll try to translate it well.
See, I want to show you 4 pictures. Okay, Professor Shestakov, could you? Thank you very much. Okay, now so hang on a moment. Let me find this. put a photo up. There we go. All right. Everybody see the photo?
Yeah.
Might be a little big on your screen, so you may have to reduce it. All right. So, based on this photo, Anton, what can you tell me about this person here?
Well, I think he's famous because he's on Billboard.
Famous, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how is, yeah?
Has a dress called.
That kind of haircut is called, those are called dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks, exactly, yeah.
Dreadlocks?
Dread, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's a musician.
Musician? Okay.
So
I think he's a musician, Andre. Andre, what do you think?
I agree with Anton. I think it's a musician, some maybe connected with rock style.
Yeah. Rock style, okay, that's good. Vlad, what do you think? You have an opinion about this guy?
Looks like John Travolta.
Okay, all right. Do you think you would like to spend time with this person?
Well, maybe in the scene somewhere.
Somewhere, sometime. We think he's a rocker. Would you, like if you had a free evening, would you want to spend a free evening with this person?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Some kind of, time ceremony.
Okay. I want to show you one more photograph, okay? Let me show you one more photograph. And we'll do this one, okay? Right, so how about this? What do you think? What do you think about this person? Anyone?
Well, there's nothing really special about his appearance. He's wearing a sock, tie, and has a short haircut. Looks like a simple office man.
Looks like a simple man. And Andre or Vlad, what do you think his profession is?
My it's likely maybe politics, maybe banker, maybe manager, something like that.
All right. Do you think? Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Politician or a lawyer?
Politician or a lawyer? Okay.
Why do you think that?
In the United.
What is there about him that says politician or lawyer?
He has a strong dress.
Yeah.
Like that, and face.
And how about that smile? Is that a stereotypical American smile? Everybody's smiling all the time.
Everybody, especially politics.
They smile all the time, okay? But it's stereotypical Americans smile. All right. Well, good. So, very, very good comments. I want to show you two more photographs. Okay. Let's look at these photographs. I took these photographs myself, and they were here in Austin, and I took them. They were on billboards. You know, these big signs. So there's the first one. All right. Anton, you seem to be on. What do we have here? What does it say?
Yeah, I think that's what. So he's a lawyer.
A lawyer?
Yeah.
He's a lawyer. Does that?
What kind of lawyer is he?
Crazy lawyer.
But what kind of law does he practice? There's a clue in the billboard. The clue is injured.
Injured. Injured. Andrew, what does that mean? Injured.
Injured.
Again?
Oh, it's like committing a crime, maybe some.
Be a crime or a tort. You know, maybe you were in an accident.
Yeah.
And maybe you know, you had some physical injury, you broke a leg or had internal injuries. These kind of lawyers are called personal injury lawyers in the United States. It's a branch, it's a subsection of law. These attorneys are called plaintiffs' attorneys, that they sue people. That's what they do. Now, this guy says injured, and then they provide a telephone number. Call, and his name is David Comey. And what is his slogan? What is his how is he described here?
Iraq.
The attorney that rocks. Anton, if you need an attorney, is that the kind of attorney you want? Do you want an attorney that rocks?
No, as Jim has already mentioned, he's a friend, he's my family, so for someone else. Of course, I do not question his abilities as a lawyer, but I think I need something more representative from the court.
Okay. How do you think? Yeah, exactly. How do you think the judge would would react to an attorney like this? Favorably?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. All right. One more photograph. Okay. One more photograph. One more photograph. We're going to look at this one here. Oh, and here we go. All right. So there we go. There's the other photograph. And Vlad, how about if you read this for us?
I guess it's the same like the previous picture, but it's a kind of different billboard.
Huh?
Injured lawyer.
Helping injured Texans.
Yeah.
Right? Lowy Law Firm. This man's name his last name is Lowy. So he is also a personal injury lawyer. He practices the same kind of law that the rocker there practices. All right. So Andrew, you're on my screen right now. Andrew, tell us, of these two lawyers, which two, if you were injured, which would you want to represent you?
As for me, I prefer the second lawyer.
Yeah.
The second, and why is that? And why is that?
Because he looks like a standard lawyer.
Looks like a standard lawyer. All right. That's what we want. We want a standard lawyer. Vlad, how about you?
I'm absolutely sure that if in Russia, if you will see the first billboard, nobody will go will ask your help, because I agree with Andrew, because the second lawyer looks more respectful, more. He inspired me to trust him.
Okay, good. It's more professional.
Yeah.
This is what we want. All right. And Anton, how about you?
Well, as I said, I don't question the abilities of the first type of lawyer, such as the first guy. But I wouldn't hire him to protect me. Well, because I do not trust him somehow, I would entertain with him, but I wouldn't dare to ask him to protect me in the court, especially when my money is in fact.
Okay. Good comments. Now, you three gentlemen have made some important decisions. You've selected a lawyer to represent you here in Austin, Texas. You've selected an injury lawyer to help you recover damages. That's a big decision. And look how you made that decision. You made that decision entirely on the basis of what? Facts or stereotypes?
Stereotypes.
Stereotypes. Not stereotypes.
We know the facts. We know who's better.
Okay, well, I don't know either of these gentlemen, but I'm inclined to agree with you. If I want someone representing me in court, I want him to at least look like a lawyer and not like a rocker. We don't know whether these men are prosperous or successful. They certainly have enough resources to be able to have a billboard erected in Austin. All right, very good. Professor Marston, would you like to maybe wrap this up?
Okay, so we make a lot of decisions based on appearance. If that's all we've got, then we still will make choices based on first impressions, and this can be really critical. Stereotypes affect us all the time, and so we're going to be looking at those in some greater depth, as I hope you've already been doing.
Now, we posted on the Webelang links to 3 episodes of an American TV show called All in the Family, a TV show from the 1980s. Anton, did you have a chance to watch those films?
Yeah, I watched the first episode and I quite liked it.
Anton, which one did you see? Did you see?
Glory and the Riddle, and the Riddle was fine actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
The Riddle was fun. Andre, did you have a chance to watch any of these films?
Yes, but the first episode.
The first one, huh?
The first
Gloria and the Riddle. Yeah. And Vlad?
I have watched the first 2 episodes.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Gloria and the Riddle. Gloria and the Riddle. And I have posted the characters that we see in this film. Vlad, let's see. Let me just go through this. We had 5 characters in this film. We had Archie Bunker, and he's the father, the middle-aged man, and his wife Edith, and Michael, who is their son-in-law, and Gloria, who's their daughter. Mike and Gloria live with Archie and Edith, and then we also have Tammy. Tammy is Edith's friend, and Tammy is the source of the riddle. So, Anton, did you see any? What stereotypes Did you notice about any of these people?
Stereotypes. What's the problem they were discussing?
I didn't understand you. I'm sorry.
We're talking about the characters, not about the programs they were discussing, right?
Yeah, the characters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, the oldest one is Mike, right? He's like an old school guy from the 50s or somewhere like that. He's not really progressive. He's more conservative person. He doesn't like the new movement in society and prefer old things.
Okay, good. Andrei, how about a stereotype? How about could you describe Edith, for example? Vlad, you're on. Vlad, could you describe Edith?
The first my impression about Edith that he's a very emotional person, and he always discussed in out with her husband, and but on the other hand, she's a kind of ordinary woman.
Ordinary woman. Good. Vlad, you're still on. Tell us about Mike. Michael, the son-in-law.
Michael. What about Michael?
What does he look like?
I really have no idea. Just a normal guy.
Normal guy, okay.
Yeah.
So,
really? Why?
From 70s, and left hair, and in the second episode, as far as I remember, he was wearing shorts, jeans shorts. That's quite weird.
You think it's unusual to wear shorts?
I'm wearing shorts myself, but not jeans. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Andrei, are you still on? Have we lost Andrei?
For now, I hope.
Okay, so we have Vlad. So we have Mike, and you're right, Anton, that he has long hair, and in the 70s that was unusual. Who had long hair in the 70s?
Hippies usually.
Hippies did. Yeah, the hippies did. And Gloria. What about Gloria? What do we know about her?
Gloria, she's blonde. English.
Yeah, she's blonde. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
No. Now, Gloria and Mike have an argument during this episode. Do you remember that?
Argue. Oh, yeah, she didn't manage to press the button, as I remember.
Yeah, so they have an argument about the button.
Yes.
And what does he think about the button?
My thought that it's okay if he's gonna press the button himself, but he blames Gloria for not doing this for a long period of time.
Right. So is that a stereotypical view?
Actually not. Well, Mike showed us a stereotypical way. He thought that pressing the buttons is the woman's job. only.
a woman's job. Yeah, it's a woman's job. It's a woman's job. Very, very good. Vlad, how about you? What about that argument? What does she say?
Sorry, about what?
About the argument about sewing on the button.
About button. Yeah. At this episode, every man is talking about that such kind of work like fixing the bottom is only women's work, like a cooking and cleaning. But yeah, but the women disagree with that, and I don't remember exactly, but Gloria talked to Mike that he is man and he should to know how to fix the bottom.
Right.
Something like that.
She scolds Michael.
Yeah.
She says, "You think that women are unpaid servants," and she accuses Michael of being a male chauvinist. A male chauvinist. Male chauvinist. Now, Archie is a very conservative, traditional guy. And I'm not sure if you could understand all of his language, but in his
She has kind of a New York accent in this film, in this series, but his attitudes are very, very conservative, and he thinks that women should have a very strong traditional role, and that's reflected when you look at the relationship between Archie and Edith. Archie expects Edith to wait on him hand and foot. And there's something that he asks her to do several times during these episodes. Do you remember what he asks her to do most often?
Well, Archie tried to reveal the riddle.
Yeah.
Riddle.
Did you know what Archie called Edith? It's a word that you may not have caught. He calls her a dingbat. What is a dingbat?
Vlad was a dingbat.
Brain sick, man.
Dingbat.
Crazy.
Great. Well, a little scatterbrained. All right. Let's see, Anton. Oh, we seem to have everybody back. Andre, you're back? Anton, are you back now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Anton,
I'm back too.
Great. Andre, what about these four people: Archie, Edith, Mike, Gloria, and Tammy? Which you've heard our discussion about the stereotypes, I hope. What is your opinion of them? What impression do you have of any of these people?
Like stereotype.
Yeah.
Well, I think Archie and Edith, the first two people, it's like stereotypes of classic family, classic American family, maybe not American family.
Yeah.
Because it's like man, he's the head of the family, and woman, she only do some work on home.
And Andrei, Professor Marston was asking, what job does Edith do for Archie very often? What does he ask her to do very often?
Cooking.
Cooking.
And something else.
No, that's not what I'm looking for.
I don't know.
Okay, we're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to it until we get it. Okay, so what about Mike and Gloria, Andre? What do you think about them?
Like Mike to try to do his family more traditions, but Gloria, she thinks that tradition family, when man is the head, it is not right, and now in modern families, every man and woman, they are equal.
Okay.
And she tries to do it.
Right.
To prove it.
Okay, so this good. That's good. We've been joined by Dima. Dima, welcome. It's good to have you. We're talking about.
Hello.
Hello. Dima, did you watch the episode of Gloria and the Riddle?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, I encourage you to do it. It's a great deal of fun. You'll laugh. But we're talking about stereotypes, Dima. When I say stereotype, what do I mean?
What does it mean, stereotype?
Stereotype, yeah.
I think it's kind of view on another person or some problem. So it's a way how one person what one person thinks about another person, about another country, or about some things.
Does it have to be true?
Not always.
Not always. Not always. So Dima, how many times have you and I met?
Can you repeat, please?
How many times have you and I met? How many times have we
yes.
been together?
Probably more than probably 20 or 15 or 20. I don't know exactly.
Okay, well that's enough. I think that would be enough for you to have a. Do I fit one of your stereotypes of an American teacher?
Probably some in some way. I think it's yes, because as I can see, American teachers are more informal than Russian. American style of education is more informal than Russian.
Okay.
So I think it's probably now we have some kinds of education, but as when I studied, when I was a student, was a pupil in school, everything was very formal. So it wasn't possible to meet with a teacher in internet and to discuss something about not about a subject of a discipline which we study.
Good.
But it's
Okay. All right. Well, we've been talking about the people. We haven't talked about the riddle. Professor Marson, I wonder if you could help me by talking about the riddle here a little bit.
Okay, well, this is a classic riddle. And so Gloria comes home and tells the riddle, but doesn't tell the answer. And much of the episode is about solving the riddle. And what is a riddle? Does anyone remember what it was? Gloria's friend Tammy, who comes later, is the one who told the riddle first to Gloria. What is it? Anton, do you know?
Yeah, I remember it. Well, there was a father and son got in a car crash, and the father took the son to the hospital and called a surgeon. And the surgeon says, I cannot operate him. He's my son. The question was how the son and the surgeon were related. Because he already had a father.
Good. Had you heard this riddle before?
No. I was curious as Archie.
Okay. Had anyone heard this riddle before?
No.
Okay. And are there surgeons in Russia who are women?
Mostly men.
Yeah, just like America.
Actually, there are a number of women surgeons here too. But the stereotype is that all surgeons are men. And so that is often the assumption that people make about it. And so one of the interesting things to me is about who solved the riddle.
The Edith solved the riddle all of a sudden. I didn't expect that.
It's Edith, the dingbat. And so she's not supposed to be able to figure out anything.
Much.
But she figured it out, and that to me is kind of amazing. I think we're supposed to be amazed by Edith when she does something we can think of as smart or clever, although Edith is really kind of a smart person. But she always defers to her husband. Archie is always right. So how come Archie doesn't get it?
You can't imagine a woman with a surgeon.
Yeah. And what does he do to try and figure it out?
He tries to ask his friends on the bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they failed as well.
And yes, they didn't know. And he sets up the riddle as though he knows the answer. But he was really hoping they would solve it Why is it so important to him to solve the riddle?
To show that he's a man, and the man is always right, and the man is not everything.
Yeah, there's another reason too.
Perhaps he tries to show that they were wrong, and he can think
Has something to do with me. And a rivalry with his son-in-law.
Oh, yeah, I think I missed it.
Vlad, do you know?
Can you repeat, please?
Okay, the question is, why is Archie trying so hard to solve the riddle? The clue is it has something to do with money.
As I understand, he would like to be first because he would like to do it before the woman, just to show that man is not serious. I don't know, something like that.
Yes, I think that's part of it, although he really doesn't get it that the answer is going to be the surgeon is a woman. He doesn't understand that. Does not enter his head. And so there's something else that motivates him. It's about a quarter. What is a quarter?
Quarter? Gentlemen, what's a quarter?
Oh, 25 cents, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a quarter of a dollar, 1/4 of a dollar. And she has a bet.
Here's a quarter.
Yeah.
25 cents. Oh, the other side.
The other
the other side has. Here's a quarter. In the front we have George Washington.
Okay, this is.
Let's see.
George has been on this quarter forever. So Archie has a bet. Who is his bet with? He bets that he can get the answer first. Who is his bet with? They make the bet and they shake hands.
With Mike.
Yes. That's right. And he is. Did you catch what Archie called Mike? It's not Mike. He never calls him by his name. Just as he always calls his wife Dingbat, or refers to her as Dingbat, he has a nickname for Archie, or for Mike. I couldn't remember what Mike's name was. Although I watched this show a long time, I didn't remember that because he has been known forever after in his career by his nickname. And his nickname is, you can put in the chat, Meathead.
Nickname.
Klitschko.
Nickname.
All right. Did we? How many watched part of "We're Having a Heat Wave"? Anton, did you watch part of that? "We're Having a Heat Wave"?
Oh, well, I started, but I haven't completed.
Okay.
But I know the plot, something.
Okay. Andrei, did you watch Heat Wave? "We're Having a Heat Wave"?
No, just
No.
first.
Vlad or Dima, did you all watch the Heat Wave?
No.
Almost. Mostly part of.
Well, the heat wave is we all know what a heat wave is, huh? What is that? Heat wave. We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. It means that it's uncommonly hot.
Yeah.
It's a problem in the weather. It's uncommonly hot, and in New York City, it's hot and humid. It's very humid in New York City. So this episode takes place in the middle of a heat wave, and the issue in the neighborhood is, first of all, the heat wave, but there's also a question of neighbors, of the quality of the neighborhood is changing. The neighborhood changing. That this neighborhood, which used to be all white, is now has a black family living in it, an African American family living in it, the Jeffersons, George Jefferson, and the question is, the story has to do with how Archie and George Jefferson, two people who are not close to each other, how they react to the fact that Puerto Ricans might be moving into the neighborhood. The character of the neighborhood is changing. Now, in the United States, in the 80s particularly, this was a widespread issue, and it had to do with social mobility and how members of minorities, African Americans, for example, or Puerto Ricans, would change the quality of a neighborhood, would make an all-white neighborhood more diverse. Is that true in Russia? Is that true in Russia?
Well, we are getting used to another nationalities. The neighbors, I have another nationality neighbors, and we're okay. We don't mind because Russia always had different nationalities. It's ethnic. It's like Americans do it, but I don't know why. So intolerant sometimes. I just we can.
Okay. Glad you say that they were not happy about that. Huh? They're not happy about that. Right?
Yeah.
So you're correct. And what is the reason that they were not happy? Would you have in Omsk, gentlemen? Would you have? How would you feel if Kazakhs moved in next door to you? Would that be okay?
Yeah,
I don't care.
I don't care as well. As long as they're quiet and polite. Yeah.
Okay. All right. as long as they're quiet and polite, that's a fair expectation, I think. Is it? Anton, what do you think? Is it okay to have Kazakhs as neighbors?
Who? Who?
Kazakhs?
Kazakhs.
Kazakhs? People from Kazakhstan?
Oh, Kazakhs. Yeah, that's okay. Well, actually, I have a South Korean girlfriend, and I don't really care about nationality. Yeah.
Do your parents think that's okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
She's a smart girl, and they like it.
Good. Okay, good. So that would not be an issue in Russia the way it is in the United States. Is that correct? Yeah. I think maybe you're right that in general, except for that in general, Russians may be more tolerant of other nationalities than people in the United States are. Well, I encourage you to watch these other two episodes. I think that they are particularly the heat wave episode is very instructive. Now, $20 is a lot of fun. I think that $20 is less about stereotypes, but it's just a lot of fun. I think you will enjoy that, and I encourage you to watch it. Anton, you mentioned that Russians don't like Caucasians.
Yeah, but I didn't mention the white race, as you call it in English. So,
you mean people from the Caucasus? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. From the north of Caucasus. This is part of Russian Federation.
Are there stereotypes of people from the Caucasus?
A lot of them. We do some kind of unofficial propaganda against them from our side and from their side, and we're sometimes putting a fight together. And well, it happened from the Chechnya war, since from them, and we are having some conflict.
Vlad, how about Cossacks? What are stereotypes of Cossacks?
Kazakhs?
No, Caucasians. People, Caucasians.
Caucasians or Kazakhs?
Caucasians.
Different things.
Caucasians. I agree with Anton. Many people dislike Caucasians in Russia, mostly because of their behavior. Because their behavior like lords in Russia. Most of Russians. So.
Right. Vlad, let me ask you a question. What do you think? Can you think of do Caucasians have stereotypes of Russians?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Most definitely they are.
Everybody has a stereotype.
Everybody has a stereotype.
For example, I heard that Caucasians consider us as drunkards, all of us. No.
Okay. Caucasians?
Yeah.
Is that true?
No. I don't drink this all, for example.
Okay, for us, at least for me, because I don't know any people from the Caucasus, Caucasian means something else. And we see it on forms to fill out. So if you have a governmental form, it doesn't say white, it says Caucasian. Quite often. Maybe it's different now, but that's what I remember.
As far as I know, Caucasian in English means a white race, if I might say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some European. Yeah.
Means what?
At one time on those forms, the box that you would check said Anglo. Said Anglo. Is that a good characterization, Anton? Anglo?
Anglo, maybe. Yes.
Maybe. Andre, is that a good characterization?
I think so.
Yeah. Vlad? Dima? Is that a good characterization?
Characterization for what?
For my race. For me. For my race.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah? Dima? What do you think so?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, well that's a safe answer, and I'll accept that. Anglo means what? Anglo means Anglo-Saxon, means somebody from England. But I'm, as most of you know, I am ethnically Polish. My ethnicity is Polish, and so I'm not an Anglo. If I'm anything, I'm a Slav. I'm Slavic. So instead of narrowing it to this one national group, the Anglo-Saxons, we now use the word Caucasian. This is good discussion today.
I want to talk about women and men.
And women and men, we haven't talked about that. Want to lead that discussion, Professor Marston? Or at least get it started?
Sure. Let's go back to Gloria and the riddle and talk about the roles of women as opposed to the roles of men, because there is a stereotypical image there of women. And I wanted to know what you gentlemen would think of as the stereotypes about women. What is the role of a woman?
It's a nice question, and we can discuss it for long hours. Actually, it's hard to say. Some women are still traditional, they are loyal to traditions, and they consider themselves as a maiden, and they dedicate themselves to the family and to the man till their last days. Yeah, there are still some women like that. The others prefer to not to be so fanatic, and they're usually trying to use common sense, and I appreciate that. We don't have such strong feminist movement in Russia for now, and that's why our brides are still required in the West, because they are still agreed to do a women's job. Yeah. And for now, that's it.
And what about women who don't do women's typical jobs? I think you all have colleagues who are fellow students, and how do they balance being a woman with being an attorney? That's a hard question. But, so what do you think about that, Vlad?
Oh, well, it's offline for now.
Andre, can you talk to us about how you, what you think of your fellow students who are women?
So professions, I think, for example, profession of attorney, it's not absolutely men's profession. I think it's normal for women to have such profession like attorney or judge or any other professions, or being a student. I think it's normal.
So you wouldn't think that there's any discrimination between women and men in the law?
Yes, I think there is no discrimination.
And do women get paid the same amount as men?
Like paid. What?
So the amount of money that women earn as attorneys, is it the same as a man in an equal situation?
Yeah, it's equal.
Yes, equal.
Are there laws governing the equality of men and women?
Yeah, it's stated in Constitution, actually. Equal to rights between men and women. Well, it's on the paper. The whole bit.
So we recently, in our Congress, had some controversy about renewing a law governing the violence against women. It's called the Violence Against Women Act. And it's been a law, I think, since 1994, and it deals with the protection of women from acts of violence that like rape and other kinds of assault. And this is a huge issue in the law and in the military as well. Now, women soldiers are experiencing a fairly high level of violence against them from fellow soldiers. Do you know anything about violence against women in Russia?
Well, if you mean some sexism against the women, we don't have such specific issues about it. No, I don't think so. We don't have such violence against women. We have some problems with jobs. Like women experience some problems with jobs, especially when we want to born a child. As boss doesn't want to get the pregnant woman or the woman who is going to, as I said, who wants a child and raise it girls, it will cause additional, not taxes, but additional charges, yeah, additional costs, yeah, for the.
I'm sorry, what?
If the boss hires a pregnant woman, she can't work basically. She'll find some a work or job, maybe a health problems or something like that, and this will cost it will cost some money to the company, and not every single boss is one that will money.
So this goes back to traditional roles for men and women, as it might be embedded in the law. In this country, when a woman applies for a job, the employer cannot ask her if she's married or if she has children, or if she's planning to have children. That's against the law for him to ask. And once she is working, if she gets pregnant, she can't be fired. There is an official policy for maternity leave, so that she has a set time that's paid when she can work, have paid leave while she has the baby. And when she returns, the employer is and that is a matter of law. And you can imagine why they would have such a law. For a long time, women who chose to practice a profession and have a family were rare. And women who took time off to have children were at a disadvantage when they returned to the workplace. So when I first went to New York City in the late 60s, when I was hired, the first thing that the employer asked me was, "Are you planning to have children anytime soon?" Because they didn't want to, it wasn't against the law then, and that was a major concern. So what I said was, no. I mean, if it made the difference between getting a job and not, I was certainly not going to tell him. Besides, I really didn't think it was any of his business, even though he clearly did. And so 3 years later, when I had a baby, there was a concession made for me so that I could continue working because I guess I'd made myself indispensable, but it was not common for a woman to work throughout. And I actually got a promotion. So anyways, that's enough about me. Can you think of any instance where your mother or your sister or your girlfriend has experienced some difficulty that a man in a similar situation would not.
Oh. Well, maybe public transport. Yeah.
Oh, public transport, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
See, a lot of people using the buses, subway lines, and usually it is a tradition in Russia to free the chair to the elder people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the people may be they are not kind grandpas and grandmas as we prefer to think. They are not so kind. And because of that kind of not so grandmas and grandpas, we may not free chair for those who really need help. But anyway, it's easier for the grandma to get the girl instead of the boy, and ask her sometimes really persuasively to free the chair because she's old and she wants to sit. That's the only reason. Yeah.
Ah.
When I was in Moscow not long ago, I noticed that young people would often offer me their seat on the metro.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, on the metro they have seats for инвалидов и женщин с детьми и лиц пожилого возраста. People of an advanced age, Professor Marston, and I was, the first time it happened, I was a little disarmed. It was an unexpected courtesy, and I realized that they were giving it to me because I was a person of advanced age, but after a while, I appreciated the opportunity to sit down. I think Russians have institutionalized the business of and internalized the idea of respect for the elders. All right. Well, let's see. Do we have other comments about stereotypes for today?
It's a very big issue.
It's a big issue. We will continue it next week, and we'll continue it next week. We have been looking today at cultural and gender stereotypes. Maybe next week we will talk about national stereotypes, about Americans' view of Russians and Russians' view of Americans, and maybe how that has all changed in the past in the past several decades. What do you think? Would that be a good way to continue this conversation?
Yeah, yeah.
And I would like to.
So we will give you something to look at, and you'll get an assignment ahead of time. And please make every effort to complete that assignment.
I'd like very much for you to comment on the excellent articles that are posted in the in your discussion, so that we can have a discussion in writing about the stereotypes that are mentioned in those several articles that Professor Shestakov has posted for you. I would especially appreciate having more insight in English than Google is able to offer me through the translator for the Russian sake.
Mm-hmm.
I may have a very odd view of stereotypes as seen from a Russian point of view because I'm dependent on the translator. And so I invite you to explore in writing this whole idea of stereotypical attitude. And yes, it does take time to read and write, as I know. But it's a different kind of experience than you will get live in class. You will, Professor Shestakov has pointed out that an American has said that Koreans are horrible drivers. And my son-in-law just returned to Texas from a trip to New York City, and he thought that New Yorkers were terrible drivers. Oh yes, all Asians are good at math. Yep, that's a common stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
And all women are terrible drivers too.
Okay. Well, I think this gives me this hints that we will have a good discussion next week, a robust discussion. Let's see, Professor Shestakov, do you have any concluding comments?
I think we will update the blog in Webiland, the new assignment.
Okay.
I think you try to watch this show, The Americans. That could be interesting also to discuss. So there are some stereotypes about the Russians, of course, and on the other hand, the Russians are depicted in a quite favorable way. So smart, intelligent, and so it's interesting and unusual for pop culture, maybe, to give this view of Russians.
Well, friends, unless there are other comments, I think that we are concluded for today. I wish you well. It can be watched, Professor Smith. It's on Hulu.com, and episode 1. Maybe we ought to just assign that right now as an assignment to watch episode 1. Episode 1. And we'll use that as a departure point. I'm still hoping that we could find the Russians are coming, but that doesn't seem to be working out. It's apparently not online.
Yeah, but you will have to the students who are in Russia will need to install Hotspot Shield. A program that's like anonymizer that makes your computer anonymous. Otherwise, anonymizer. Yeah. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able. If you have other resources, yeah, feel free. But I can't recommend it officially. Go to this torrent site and
Okay, friends. Все, да, на сегодня. Is that it for today? Andrei, Anton, Dmitry, Vlad, thank you very much for good discussion, and
thank you.
And and very good insights. Very, very good insights. Make sure that you write in the blogs. Make sure that you write in the blogs. Do I have to say it again? Make sure that you write in the blogs, please.
When you write in the blogs, you can expect to be acknowledged by me. I will write in the blogs as soon as you do.
Writing in the blog will help your writing.
It
All
will
right.
help in speaking too.
Yeah.